Hey guys, we're gonna do a sugaring demo today on some legs. So our staff's gonna be in, they'll be asking some questions, and I'll be doing a leg service. And so Alyssa is going to be filming for us and reading off any questions that y'all might have. So I'm gonna start with cleansing her legs first. Feel free to say hi, Alyssa.
Hi, I'm here in the corner.
I'm just gonna cleanse with some alcohol. I like to use alcohol because it absorbs and cleanses off all the oils on the skin and any other germs or anything like that maybe on the skin.
Hi, everybody.
So I'm super excited for you guys to get to see a leg demo. And again, like, our staff is in here, and if they have any questions, I'm gonna let them ask them. And if y'all have any questions, I'd be happy to answer any. All right, we're just gonna apply some dusting powder. This keeps the skin nice and dry during the service and absorbs any moisture to make sure that the sugar can stick to the hair. The sugar is water soluble, so any sweat or humidity or anything like that makes it where the sugar doesn't stick. All right. I'm just getting some sugar. Whenever I do legs, I like to use a pretty big ball. And I like to mix consistencies. Oh, thank you.
Hi, Yacinda.
Hi. I like to mix the consistency because it's just easier to work with and it picks up the leg hair so much better. All right, so we'll get started. For legs, I like to do nice long strips. Nice even pressure all the way through. And with legs, we sugar a bit different than we would smaller areas. We use much larger strips, a lot more sugar. And Marianne, how long have you been growing out your legs from shaving? Since shaving?
Since Christmas. Since Christmas.
Okay, so
Almost
what
a
is that?
month.
Okay.
About 3 weeks.
All right, so you can see how nice and clean compared to here where the hair still is. A half leg service typically takes us about half an hour, start to finish with cleansing and everything. As you see, you want to go over it multiple times to make sure that the hair is tangled in really good. This will help avoid having to go over the same section again and again. And see how sometimes I'll see that the hair is not tangled in good, I'll come back through and rub it in. And that just kind of takes out some of the sting. Go ahead and butterfly a little bit for me. Perfect. So now I'm just gonna move into the inner area of the lower leg. Our lower leg service includes just above the knee down, and it includes the feet and toes if you're doing lower leg. If you're doing upper half leg, it's above the knee up, and it does not include toes or feet.
So for those of you that just got in, we are doing a sugaring demo on half legs. Amanda is kind of going over how we do it, what we do, and the whole process of your appointment from start to finish. And I think it's just a good way for you guys to see the amazing results that we can get through sugaring.
Definitely. So as we work up on the knee, we're going to kind of watch the hair growth. With sugaring, you always apply against the hair growth and pull with the hair growth. And as as I go down the strip, I'm pulling the skin tight behind my strip to allow the sugar to come off nice and clean. All right, I'm gonna have you rotate this way just a bit. Perfect, and you can just kind of turn up on your side a little bit if you're able. Perfect. Awesome. As you work with the sugar, whether you use powder or you don't use powder, your sugar is going to start to turn a whitish color, and that's because it's picking up all the dry, dead skin cells. So we use the sugar basically until it's not doing its job anymore, and then we would change the whole ball, get a new glove, and start over with a new fresh ball of sugar. So there's no chance for cross-contamination. It's much cleaner, and there's a lot less waste because we just use the sugar paste and our gloves, and that's all. Perfect. All right.
So you can already see a huge difference.
Yeah, you can straighten this leg back out. So you can see how nice and clean it comes out. If I see any little stragglers left, I can just go back over and kind of massage it into the hair and basically tweeze them out with the sugar. Are you able to bend your knee up? Just make sure you watch that angle. So the knees is a really common area to get stuck. If your sugar paste, come on in. If your sugar is too soft or if their skin's really dry, which is really common on the knees. So that's an area you just want to be mindful of those things. And I just like to come up and over, and we're going to ribbon the sugar straight over that knee and fling it up on the back of my hand. We do lots of sugar flinging around here. But her hair is coming out super nice. Awesome. Okay, you can put that leg down. And I'm actually gonna have you just scooch a little bit towards me. Nope, you don't have to cross. Just scoot towards this way a little bit. Perfect. I'm gonna sugar this leg from this side of the bed still, just because I have a nice angle to flick with. Sometimes I'll switch to the other side if I can't get a good angle. All right, and again, I can usually do like the entire front of a leg with one ball of sugar and then get a new ball of sugar for the back. Just depends on how much dry skin we have, how much hair we have, stuff like the temperature of the room, how hot it is outside. All of those things will affect the sugar and make you have to change your sugar more frequently throughout your services. If y'all have any questions, like from your leg services that you guys do, please feel free to ask them, because everybody's legs, like, hair is different. There's lots of things that come up through services that you're like, ooh, I wish I had a better technique for this or that. The angle of the hair kind of changed right here, which is why I'm going back across this way to make sure it's tangled in good, and then I can come back across that. I'm just gonna work my way up.
Definitely is forbidden honey.
And I see comments on our posts all the time asking if it's edible. Yes, if you wanted to eat it, you could. It is definitely edible. Wouldn't really recommend it. Probably not food grade, but
Probably not a great snack.
no. Always kind of reshape your ball, and you want to almost like roll the ball out onto the skin, and then you're going to come back across your strip And that's gonna be when you're tangling that hair up into the sugar. And typically, we'll go over it as many times as we need to. You want to have a productive flick or pull. So if you don't go over it enough times, when you go to flick, you'll have hair that's left behind and it's just more work for you. So I can tell the way my sugar's trying to stick that it's getting like overworked and kind of getting towards the end of its life. And so I'm gonna add a little bit more powder. That typically helps if your sugar's trying to stick to the skin. Thank you, Liz. So I'm gonna add a little bit to the knees and to the side of the leg here. Thanks. All right, I'm gonna have you turn up to this side a little bit. Perfect. Awesome, that's perfect. I like to get the side of the calf and the lower leg from here. Again, it's just a nice angle where I can drag and flick without it being an awkward angle. Bless you, Sam. Thank you. See how a few got left behind? That's because I could have rubbed it in a few more times. If you see that, that's a good indication you need to kind of go back over it a little bit more. As your sugar gets more overworked, you'll have to apply or go over that strip a few more times because it just doesn't stick as well as fresh sugar. So I'm about to get new sugar. I'm just gonna finish up her knee though, in the front of the leg. So see, there's a few little ones left behind. Instead of having to come in and just tweeze those, you can just basically tweeze them with the sugar, except that one. There we go. So you're not having a huge cleanup at the end. I'm gonna scoot that way just a little bit with the angle. Because of the angle, I'm just gonna come from this side because the hair kind of angles that way. Why are you laughing?
Kimberly was acting like she's taking
a shot?
Yep. A shot of my goodies.
Oh, goodness.
All right. And just a little bit. That's perfect. Right. Up and over. Does anyone on there have any questions?
Not yet. You're just doing such a great job at explaining.
Well, thank you. All right, so once we get done with this leg, I'm gonna have her flip over. We'll kind of readjust her. I'll get some new sugar, and then we'll do the back. Like I said, it's a pretty quick service. Does it feel like something? Yes.
I think that's pancake batter.
Yes, pancake batter for sure. All right, perfect. Let me go ahead and ditch this sugar. Fix Marianne.
Yeah. All right.
We got you. Thanks. Perfect. Since I haven't cleaned the back of the legs, I'm going to go ahead and do that too. Again, just some alcohol. Usually you work so far around while you're in the front. Once you get to the back, you just have a thin little strip to do. There's a couple different ways to do the back because the hair growth is, the pattern changes. Almost on every person, the hair angles in, and on the backs of the thighs, it angles in as well. Very common to see that hair pattern, so make sure you pay attention to that. Marianne, you're the
Say
best
hi,
model
ladies.
ever.
We got Liz, Sam, Kimberly here, and of course Amanda. And Marianne's here too, in spirit.
She volunteered. All right, so we powdered up, and so now we're just gonna get to sugaring. I like to angle outward. Again, just kind of following that natural direction of hair growth. Making a nice, pretty strip or mold. People call it different things. But I've been sugaring for almost 17 years now. And I call it a strip. All right, just gonna work our way up. I think it's super satisfying to sugar legs. It's kind of relaxing. For the specialists, it can be one of the harder services though, because it is really strenuous on your hands. So make sure you're doing your best to use good ergonomics and not have a crazy bend in your wrist. Use good posture, because doing legs and servicing clients all day can take a toll on your body if you don't take care of it. Coming out so nice. And with waxing, a lot of people that come from waxing that we end up training to do sugaring, they're always a little bit nervous to go across the back of the knee here. It's totally safe. With sugaring, doesn't adhere to live skin cells. We're not gonna rip the top layer of skin off like you would with waxing. You can see she's hardly red compared to what she would be with waxing. And as long as you don't lift up and stay parallel to the skin on your pool, you won't have any bruising. You can get bruising, but the best way to avoid that is to keep your pool parallel to the skin. Okay, we're almost done with this leg, and then we'll switch sides. Awesome. I like to just go back and check, see if there's one or two left behind, and take off Marianne's socks. And just kind of, like I said, basically tweeze them with my sugar. I'm gonna switch sides with you, Alyssa.
Okay.
All right, same thing on this side. I'm gonna change this lighting. Thank you. Make sure it's tangled in nice. We're open today, so that's our phone. Thank you, Kimberly. We have 4 Central Florida locations. Port Orange, Ormond Beach, Lake Marion, Oviedo. So if you're in the Central Florida area, please come check us out. We'd love to see you and get you converted from waxing to sugaring.
Shelby, we do not make our own sugar. We actually order it out so that each time that you come in, the consistency is the same. Sugar wax is definitely easy to make. It's just those 3 ingredients, sugar, lemon, and water. But just for consistency purposes, we do order it out.
Yes, I did make sugar a couple times. One time I ended up with basically a Jolly Rancher. And then another time it was basically honey, because it has to be really temperamental with temperature.
So not necessarily easy to make, but easy ingredients. Let's put it that way.
It's basically like caramel.
Yes.
Thought I was gonna hit my head on that lamp.
Oh no.
Made an adjustment. I know. Seriously.
Keep running into my mirror.
It happens. Hazards of the job. All right. So I'm just gonna clean up any hair on my face. I'm like sweating. You guys. I need to get that fan going. Somebody hook me up. All right. Perfect. So after that, we like to cleanse with water. Thank you, Kimberly. It is water soluble, so anything that's left on your client's skin can be easily cleaned up with water. Just gonna go let her run in here.
Faith, that is a good question. So when you are sugaring and passing over the skin, that is basically just going so that we can capture all the hair in the sugar. So when she's doing it over and over again, that is how we do get the hair inside the sugar so that we can remove it. And yes, it's still sticky the whole time. It starts to get a little bit less sticky as you go more. So when you see the color kind of change, that's when the sugar gets a little less sticky and a little more melty. But it definitely is still sticky while you're using it for the whole service.
Next, we're gonna apply our Recover Soothing Gel. And it's a product that we had specially formulated that we have manufactured for us. It's made up of aloe, tea tree, witch hazel, and vegetable glycerin. It also has a little bit of lavender oil in it. This is a product that we do sell for Aftercare and manufacture in huge batches. No, sorry, the little one.
There's some in there too.
It's something you can order online through our website as well, but it's a really amazing after wax, after sugaring gel, and even after shave balm as well. Oh, thank you. This is what it looks like, our Recover Soothing Gel.
There it is.
Yep. All right, so that's about it. I think that should conclude us, right?
Yes.
Thank you all so much for joining in. And again, make sure you follow us on all of our social media platforms. If y'all ever have any questions, feel free to message us, comment. I'd love to answer any questions you might have. Perfect. Hold on, how do you end this thing?